Can you feel vibrations? Can you feel energy? Can you feel frequencies? Vibrations. Energy. Frequencies. Can you feel vibrations? Can you feel energy? Can you feel frequencies? Vibrations, energy, frequencies. Feel the Healy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's What's Up Wednesday, our first of the month of December, but certainly not our last. So welcome today to December 6th, 2023, What's Up Wednesday. It is an honor for me to be here with all of you. My name is Adriana Alvarez, Head of Sales for the Americas. Know that this call is being interpreted in 3 different languages. So if you want to enjoy this in Spanish, Mandarin, or French, just go into our menu and choose the globe icon and the language of your preference. So thank you everybody for being here today, because we are celebrating a strong month of the month and an epic close of November. So this couldn't be a better quote for this month of December. Starting strong is good, but finishing strong is epic, by Robin Sharma. So again, I think this brings all the vibes, all the energy for us as a collective community of strong leaders. Come into this closing of the month, one that will mark history for all of us, and we'll sit back and look back to. So our agenda today is very special, because on the month of December, we are starting with a very special guest once a month that will join us, Martin Whittman, our Chief Product Officer. And today being the first training that he will do in this series, not the first time he's with us, today he's going to speak about the information field and also touch a little bit on the Healy demo experience. We'll then wrap up with some company marketing updates, a review of our December promotions, and some events that we have coming up globally and with the Americas. So to start this call, I want to congratulate all of you. So November was an epic month for us, and I want to congratulate all of you for breaking record on our best month ever in 2023. And with that, we wanted to celebrate with you all of your achievements from this year. So we will have a very special What's Up Wednesday. It's a special edition where we will come together and have a 2023 year-end celebration. It will be our last Zoom of the year, and this will be on Wednesday, December 20th, so in 2 weeks from now. So just to have fun together, come festive, dress with spirit. We will be opening our cameras so all of you can show your outfits and have some fun, because we'll have very special giveaways as a thank you and congratulations for all that you've done this year. So we'll have some special recognition for everybody who comes dressed up, and of course for all of you who participate. So you're not going to want to miss this, because as you know, we had some really special giveaways during our Super Saturday, and this will not be any less than that. And we will also have a little recap of 2023 history, all of our highlights, all of your achievements with very special recognition for all of you who rank advanced, even our top rank advancements throughout the entire year. So I encourage you to encourage your teams to join so you can celebrate each other's achievement during this call. And we will have a manifestation countdown towards the new year. So I hope you're as excited as we are here in the team to join on Wednesday, December 20th at 1 p.m. Same link of all our WhatsApp Wednesday, but this one will be a special edition for every single one of you. So if you're excited, comment on here, give me some hearts. But with no further ado, again, I share our agenda, but our highlight of today is our very special guest that will embark on this monthly product training, Martin Whittman, speaking today about the information field and the Healy demo experience. Martin, are you with us?
Yes, of course. Wait a second. Here I am.
Thank you so much for coming on here. I know it's evening for you, but we always appreciate so much all of your experience and your knowledge being shared with us in this very intimate space. So with that, I'm going to give you control so you can share your screen as well. Let me stop sharing. And where did my menu go? I think you should be able to share screen.
Not yet.
Co-host.
Oh, no, it looks good. Perfect. Okay.
Excellent.
Then let's start. So it's really a premiere somehow because I never did this presentation in English. So stay tuned. Wait a second. Okay. So what is the agenda today? So the agenda is Healy, science, philosophy, and metaphysics behind the information field or information field technology. So we're really gonna touch the very core of our product, and that's information field analysis and how it actually works. So let's get into it. So first, we start with the information and its fundamental importance. What does that mean? It means that information is actually the core of everything. So everything starts with information. And as you can see here, also Carl Friedrich von Weizsäcker, John Wheeler, Seth Lord, and Anton Zeilinger, all eminent physicists, philosophers, and natural scientists saw information as the most fundamental concept of nature. And according to their understanding, the universe on the deepest level does not consist of matter or energy, but matter and energy can be derived from the concept of information. So it's everything basically starts with information. And on the right side, you can see here that physical information and quantum, basically, you get together quantum information processing. And this can be easily displayed in a qubit. And this qubit is basically a 3D sphere where you have this information basically illustrated. Now let's get on with that. So Weizsäcker's information energy formula. So everyone knows the formula on the left side, and that's E equals mc square. So energy equals mass and the speed of light, basically. So that's from Einstein, and everyone knows that. But here you have the energy information formula from Weizsäcker, which is that information contains energy and is basically can be derived from energy. So you also have mass and the square of c basically inside. And that's a thing that you usually don't learn. And when you go to John Wheeler, he said something really interesting, and that's it from bit. So that something, anything, is basically derived from information, from a bit. So it from bit. So there's a simple example for that. So what I always bring, and that's if you buy a house, or if you not buy, if you basically build a house, you don't start with buying concrete and wood and piles and so on. No, first you think about, okay, what house do I want? How does it look like? That's the most crucial information. And if you have this information, then you basically construct the house, then you see how it actually works, you get all the pieces together, and then you order the concrete and so on. So everything starts with information. So also a very interesting thing is Anton Zeilinger, also called Mr. Bean. What he did a quantum teleportation that basically went down like you have photons, and as you know, photons are very, 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 very small particles that have a little energy. And he basically teleported this from one side of the Donau, how we call it in Germany, to the other side. And that's through quantum entanglement. And how does that work? First thing you need to know is that you don't need energy for that. Why? Because energy is there. As you see, you have light, you have warmth, you have wind. All of those things are basically there because there's energy already everywhere. So what you just need is the simple information of one photon transferred to the other photon. And that's what he actually achieved. And now we come immediately to the information field. So what is the difference between information and the information field? And that's a very crucial thing. It's the information field is information with meaning. So you actually have meaning that defines what the information is for and what it does. And that's contained in the information field. So what is the information field? So we know that many biologists, physicists, and scientists of other disciplines also have a concept or had a concept or presented a concept of the information field. Like Rupert Sheldrake, he called it morphic fields or morphogenetic fields. So he's out of the field of biology. Then you have Erwin Laszlo, who called it akashic fields. And he did a lot of research in a lot of different things. And you also have William B. Miller Jr., and he called, or he basically found, not found, but he said they are persuasive information field. And all those things basically, at the end of the day, describe the same thing. And that's what we call the information field. And one very, very crucial encounter that Markus Schmieke had was with Burkhard Heim. And Burkhard Heim, most of you most likely don't know him because he's a German physicist, and he was also badly injured in war times, not in war itself, but in war times. And he basically was almost blind, almost deaf, and had no arms. So it was really a hard endeavor to actually do what he did, because he really did physics on a different level. And what he created was this, let's say, overview or this concept, and that's the 12 dimensions. And what are those 12 dimensions? So the first 3 dimensions we know very well, and that's matter. That's what we see. When you look at your math class in school, you have geometry, and there you have the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. So basically a 3D grid, and that's matter. That's what we know. Then we can come to D4, and that's time. Time is harder to grasp already because it's a concept that we use basically to basically describe the difference between now and tomorrow or yesterday, so that we basically go through life. But you cannot touch time, you cannot feel it, you just have an understanding of it. And now it gets even more harder to grasp, and that's dimension 5 and 6. That's the energetic level or control level. And all of those 6 dimensions are the energy space. So there you have like the bioenergetic field, the field around you. So we all have a concept for that, but it's not easy to display or easy to understand. And now we come to the interesting part, and that's the informational space. And what we are basically looking at is the global information field. And that's dimension 7 and 8. And that's where basically we use our Healy device or also the time weaver devices to basically get information out of these dimensions. And of course, you have also dimension 9 to 12, but those, I think that's needs a little longer time to explain those. So we keep with the information field and go a little deeper. And yeah, what I missed is to tell you that Marcus actually met Burkhardt, and that influenced the main development of the time weaver and Healy system dramatically. Another very, very interesting or very potent endeavor between two people was between Carl Gustav Jung and Wolfgang Pauli. Carl Gustav Jung in his time was one of the most prominent psychiatrists, and Wolfgang Pauli was a Nobel laureate, so he had the Nobel Prize in Physics. And they had a discussion or had discussions for over 20 years. And in those discussions, they basically created the concept of the unus mundus. And unus mundus means basically one world. And as you can see, you have the empirical facts of local realism, and that's where physics actually has, of course, the main domain, and consciousness. That's where your psyche basically comes in. And when you combine those, you have holistic reality or implicate order, how they call it, or collective and individual unconsciousness. So basically, your unconsciousness is something that you also don't really see. You cannot access it. But if you sleep, you unconsciously go in this space where you basically are connected. Every one of us knows this. When you have something that bothers you, you have a problem, you are thinking it through all day, but you don't have a solution. When you sleep, you connect to your unconscious or to the unconscious world, to the collective unconsciousness, and then you wake up and then you have the solution. So there's something or there's a lot that we don't see, that we cannot access very easily, but that has a huge potential. And David Bohm, and of course, observing emergence of consciousness. So that's what you basically have when you have the interaction. And David Bohm actually said that there's an explicate order, an implicate order, and you have holo movement between those two. And that we will see later a little more. So here we have a paper of Markus Schmieke, and there he wrote, we refer to the quantum processes of body, mind, and the deeper psyche as a person's individual information field. It consists of the quantum information contained in the sum of generalized quantum entanglement, both in the human being and between human being and the environment. The subset of an individual's information field is recognized by the National Institutes of Health as the bioenergetic field. The bioenergetic field communicates with the biological body via dynamic quantum processes. What does that mean? It means that we, as a physical being, are connected to, of course, our bioenergetic field. And how do they actually communicate? Through quantum processes. And also, we all have our individual information field. And there, it also consists basically of quantum information. And all of those things are actually entangled. So let's go a little deeper. We will see a little more about that later. So Henry Strapp, that we will come to a little later also said it's the unity of mind and matter. So he describes the information field as consisting of intrinsic unities of mind and matter. The information field expresses the material energetic level as quantum entanglement of particles and states of complex systems. They indicate the deeper levels of interconnectedness in the information level, or on the information level. And Marcus, in his paper, wrote, meaning of information expresses in this way as quantum entanglement of a system internally and externally. The internal entanglement establishes the unity of the living entity in itself as a subject and an object itself, whereas the external entanglements connect the system with the environment. The self-referential and self-organizing properties of the information field depend on those double dynamics of self-referentiality and relation to the other. So what does that actually mean? So basically you're entangled basically with yourself and of course with your environment. And that actually makes up your whole being. And here we have a very interesting graphics. So this graphics has a little story to it. So one day Marcus and our chief who was it? Marketing officer and me, we went to a lighthouse at the North Sea or East Sea. And in this lighthouse, we said, okay, Marcus, explain us the information field. Explain us how the entanglement works, how all those things work. And he said, yeah, I'm explaining this since 10 years, but people don't really understand it. Or I'm explaining the same thing over and over again, but yeah, no one basically writes it down in a proper way. And I also thought about that for a long time, because he's right. He explains it, you understand it, you leave the room, and then you don't really know what you understood anymore. And the reason for that, in my understanding, is that it's actually like smartphones. If you have a smartphone and you would have told someone 100 years ago, yeah, I have this small thing, I hold it to my ear and I phone someone across the country or in another continent, then they would have said you're crazy. So that's impossible. And they wouldn't understand what you're talking about. And that's the same with what we do with Healy, how we access the information field. It's just not in the consciousness of people. It's too far ahead, but actually it comes into consciousness. So I realized the last, I don't know, 5 years, people have an understanding of that. And in that day, in this lighthouse, he drafted this graphics here. And then we gave it immediately to someone in the graphics department, and they created this very wonderful graphic out here. And let's look at that in detail. So very easy to see is the first level in the matter section, and that's our body. So molecular body, everyone has a very good understanding of its body, what you can touch. Then you have the electromagnetic body. That's a little harder to understand. I always bring the example that you have your heart, and I had a magnetism medicine, and you can use a gradiometer which is nitrogen cooled. That's why this thing is really huge. And you use this thing in a magnetic shielded room. And then you basically bring this thing 1-2 centimeters over the heart, and then you can actually measure through the magnetic field your ECG. So there's such a big current basically flowing through your heart that you can measure through the magnetic field your ECG. And that, I think, gives you a good understanding of your electromagnetic body. So everything that is basically, or where current flows through, also creates a magnetic field. And that's our whole body. Our whole body basically consists of current going through and magnetic fields. And that's also how the bioenergetic field basically comes to place. That's basically, or parts of it are also reflections of the magnetic fields we actually create when current flows through our body. Then we have the cell membrane potential, everyone knows that, and the biophotons. Biophotons, I don't know if everyone is aware of that, but they are basically very small photons that are emitted by our cells. You don't see them, but you can measure them if you really have sensitive equipment. So there's also light energy passed through our body or emitted by our body. And then we come to the bioenergetic process and quantum processes. So that's what we already basically heard. So this body and those electromagnetic body and photons, this whole system is entangled with the information section here. And there you have the bioenergetic field of the body. So it's a little, let's say, far away from the body, except compared to the electromagnetic body. And then you have the individual information field, and that's crucial to understand. So everyone has an individual information field where your information basically is stored. And then you have the global information field where all the information actually of all people or all beings is stored. And of course you have the mind and the soul in there, and the body information field. And those things are basically quantum entangled. And they are not local anymore, they are non-local. So meaning you can access them, but they don't need to be near you. So let's go on. So David Bohm's implicate order and the hidden variables. And that's very crucial to understand. This is one of the most important slides. So on the left side, you see basically classical representation of quantum physics. And on the right side, you see an unorthodox representation that David Bohm basically suggested. So what does this represent? As you know, when you have the observer effect in quantum physics, you say, okay, a particle can either be a particle or a wave. So it either exists as a particle or it exists as a wave. If you basically observe this particle, then you have a particle. If you don't observe it, then you have a wave, which means if you don't look, it's a wave. If you look, it's a particle, which is a quite funny concept. But it means ultimately that if you don't look, it can be everywhere because it's a wave. And it can also be on the other side of the universe. And if you look, it's there where you basically spot it. And this huge wave function collapses. David Bohm said, yeah, this doesn't really reflect physics. So all the physics that we know doesn't make any sense anymore. And also Einstein didn't like it. Most of the physicists didn't like it because it contradicted physics as they knew it. So he proposed an unorthodox version of it, which basically fulfills the same criteria. And that's why they also said, yeah, it's nothing new. It basically has the same outcome, but it is a difference. And what he proposed is that you have a particle, and this particle basically travels in a wave. But this wave is not random, but it has a quantum potential. And this quantum potential basically tells the particle where to go. I mean, we can easily relate this to ourselves. So the quantum potential for humans is basically our inner voice. So our inner voice that tells us, marry this person, or don't marry this person. And as we all know, if you do a wrong pick there, you might regret it a lot of years afterwards. So this inner voice basically tells you where to go. And if you listen to this inner voice very carefully, you might have a very, very happy life. And the same is for this particle. So this particle has this small quantum potential that actually guides this wave, the particle, according to this wave that we see here. And that actually makes physics, or in this concept, physics makes sense. still sensed, you know what I mean? And he also showed it in the next slide. So here the Schrödinger wave function. So if you basically, I don't know if you know the Schrödinger wave function. So basically you have a double split experiment, and you basically send some particles through those two splits. And then you observe and see, okay, where is this particle, or where are those particles? And yes, you see they have a very unique pattern. So it's not completely random where they are. They have a pattern. And that also basically tells us that David Bohm might be right, because they have a certain way where they travel, and that's this quantum potential that basically guides them. And here he also had a nice, a very interesting quote, but matter has now come to signify a totality of being, ultimately of a subtle beyond all definable limits. And thus it may equally be called mind, or mind matter, or matter mind. In this one totality, meaning provides all being and indeed all existence. So what does that actually mean? So we have a mind matter, matter mind. So those are ultimately connected. So you cannot apart those. So if you have your body, you have your mind, those are connected. They are communicating with each other. They are entangled with each other. And what we actually have there is meaning. So that actually is what we are searching for. Now we come a little step nearer to how time weaver or Healy or information field technology actually works. So the interaction between consciousness, information field, and physical noise generator entanglement. So first we go to the physical noise generators. So the quantum nature of physical noise generators. There was once a question, to what extent is thermal noise a result of the quantum world? So as you know, those noise generators basically create thermal noise, and you get a noise data out of that. And how much of that is actually quantum information? And the answer is 2/3. So 2/3 of this noise data is actually quantum information. And you can see this applied by the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab. So peer lab, short, easier to spell. And what did they do? They used those noise generators, and then they basically became those graphs. Basically, that's the noise data recorded. And you have those three lines, the middle line and the upper and lower line. And in between, you have normal noise data. So if you don't interact with a noise source, it basically creates usually data in this range. And what they did, they basically sat in front of those noise generators, and they told the people that did this, try to basically get this thing up, so out of the confidential interval. And it actually worked. So the yellow line you see is above, and in another experiment, they told them, yeah, please try to get it below this confidential interval. And they actually did that. So they actually influenced with their conscious intention what the noise source actually did. And we have a very, very huge application of this noise sources from Roger Nelson. So he had about, I think, 80 noise generators around the world. And he got all this data on one server and stored it. And what he did, he observed the noise data, especially in moments when you have huge global events. For example, you have the death of Lady Di, or Christmas, or I don't know, World Cup of football or something like that. And then they observed how the noise data actually changes on those events. And the red line basically is accumulated this noise data. So it's a huge deviation of the confidential interval, which is down here. So that's actually also a very good indicator that those very emotional intentions that we have, or emotional moments that we have when we have this events, actually have a huge impact on noise data. And here you have a very interesting experiment from Richard Blasband. And what he did, he had a flat next to a psychiatrist, how do you call it, where they basically treated people with depression or other mental illnesses. And he used also a noise generator and observed what happened during such a session. And the first thing was neutral talking. And that you see, this is this line in the confidential interval. So what happens? They are just talking about something, what happened, how are you, and so on. And then they, at one point, come to the stress point, or to your blockage, or something that is actually stressing you. And then you see here, you usually get angry. So if you find something that is actually stressing you, you get angry. And here you see it goes very straight upwards when you have anger, for example. And then after anger, you usually have the point where you release the anger. So where you basically start crying, for example. And that is the line that goes down here. So after that, you have this anxious crying, and it goes way, way, way out of the confidential interval. And that's the most emotional moments that we have in our life. That is when we basically release all our emotions and really are, let's say, 100% emotion, and not thinking of any rational thing anymore. And so this is basically one very representative application that we actually use. And now, one very nice point is the consciousness and physical noise generator entanglement. So physical noise generators entangle with the information feed through conscious intention. And that's very important if you use devices like Healy. So an additional hypothesis is that physical noise generators based on quantum effects can be entangled with states of the physical vacuum corresponding to elements of the information field, and also with organisms as a whole by the intention of a conscious observer. And that's the most important word, conscious observer. So you observe, but you consciously observe with an intention in mind. So Henry Strapp, as I told you, he's coming back, and he said, or he was talking about conscious observer influences observation in unorthodox quantum theory. So in orthodox quantum theory, this concept doesn't really exist. So there's no conscious observer that influences something in the observation. It's just you observe something, there it is. You see your particle. But that you consciously can influence it, that's something that he added, basically. So a generalization of Weinberg's nonlinear quantum mechanics allows the probabilities for the possible reductions of the state of the brain of the observer to be biased relative to those predicted by orthodox quantum theory by features of the state of the brain of the conscious observer, which means in this unorthodox quantum theory, the observer can actually influence the observation. So now, how is this used? So, for example, Roger Nelson introduced the concept of an information field as the common background language for consciousness and quantum event-triggered physical noise generators to influence each other. What does that mean? So we have a physical noise generator. We also call it a quantum sensor or resonance sensor. This basically, this quantum information that we create there can be influenced. And the information field is basically the background language for consciousness and can be connected to that. So Roger Nelson describes the noise generator as a chaotic, unstable system ready to absorb information from its environment. As quantum events absorb information non-locally, the entropy of a physical noise generator can change as a reaction to information patterns of distant origin. And that's the most important thing here. So you have noise information there, and this information can absorb information non-locally. And that's also that explains why you can do information field analysis with someone that's not actually in the room, because you don't need to be locally available to actually have those effects and absorb the information, or the quantum information can be basically absorbed by the noise generator. So now the last difficult slide, generalized information field entanglement. So this is the most important slide to actually understand how Healy and Healy technology, or information field technology, actually works. So what do you have? You have your, or not, maybe more important, how you use it and how you should use it. So you have the bioenergetic field of a system. You have the individual information field, and you have a noise generator, and you have your database information patterns. So basically, this is you, this is your information field, and this is the noise generator of the Healy. And here you have the data that is in your Heal Advisor Analyze app. So a database, for example, Schüssler cells. So what happens? Your bioenergetic field, or the bioenergetic field of the client, is basically entangled with the information field, of course, as we already heard. And this is, of course, entangled with the noise generator, as we also heard. So basically, the noise generator just gets the information or is, let's say, open for information from the information field, and is also open, as we see here in the middle, for my conscious intention. And I don't know if you saw the Aura video training under the Heal Advisor Analyze app in the Academy. And there it is described that you basically, you focus on what you actually want to have in the future as a positive state. And that's your conscious intention. And you also focus, of course, on yourself or on the client. And that's basically where your conscious intention is then not guarded, goes towards, let's put it like that. And now what happens? Now, since you're now focused and entangled, of course, you're all the time entangled, you start the analysis and you have a classical information transfer. And there you have this information transfer that happens. And here in this moment, when you have this information transfer, your conscious intention, the noise generator, your information field, and the database are entangled in such a way that you get, in our case now, the highest relevance for the entries according to your conscious intention, according to your basically focus, and according to whom you focus on. And that's how it actually works. So of course, we also did studies in information field or for information field applications. And here's a quite interesting study for the coherence module. So that's a time level module. And we always, or most of the times, use the quality of life. We use the coherence status and the decrease in concerns. So what does that mean? The decrease in concerns. So basically we ask the people, okay, what problems do you have? Do you have, I don't know, some pain, some issues, some stress, whatever? And after 2 weeks of application, we asked them again for those concerns. So we knew, okay, this person reported stress. So we asked the person, how is your stress level now? And that's basically the decrease in concerns. And now the results are quite interesting. So you have basically here an increase of almost 40% in well-being. And that's of the harmonization group. And here you have the analysis group. And as we all learned already, so the analysis is already a change in the information field. It's already a change in this entangled information between us, the information field, our bioenergetic field, and the information we are basically focused on. So it actually also increases 20%. Then we have the coherence status. That's not so big, 8%, 10%, so not really very relevant for us. And then the complaints, and that's quite interesting because the complaints reduce in the harmonization group and in the only analysis group quite dramatically. And here you can see the effect size, and that's the coherence D. So, and here you see a very large effect size for the complaints. So that's actually what also is the focus. So because if you do a coherence analysis, you basically analyze, of course, for the concerns, hopefully with the right intention. And of course, those should also reduce drastically. Now, we did also a time waiver study with database analysis, and that basically reflects the same thing. So I don't want to go into deep here. The meridian analysis is also basically the same thing. Now, the coaching module study, that's very interesting. So I basically forced our time waiver team to do, let's see, 127 coachings. So, I mean, that's a big effort, and they really were into it because they said, yeah, that's really, the positive feedback was amazing in those coachings, but of course it was a lot of work. So they were not so happy. And there's a very interesting outcome here. Because what did we do? We did coaching and harmonization. So basically sending the positive information in the information field, coaching without harmonization. And we did a short coaching and harmonization and a short coaching without harmonization. And what does a short coaching mean in a normal coaching? As I don't know if you're aware that normal coaching is like you have certain questions, you go through those questions with your client and answer them together and find basically goals together with the client. And in a short coaching, and then you do basically an information field analysis and see what's also behind different areas of life, as you have also in the Heal, Advise, Analyze coaching module. And in the short coaching, you just do the analysis like in the analysis module. And you do harmonization. And when you do a harmonization in the long process, as you can see here, it's almost no difference. And as we should know by now, that's also very clear, because if you consciously basically reflect on the things that are now very important to you in such a coaching process, you actually work actively on those things in your consciousness, in your unconsciousness, in the information field. So it actually, everything is involved already. In the short coaching, you're not really involved with your consciousness. So it's very short, but you get the results. And the results are then basically sent to the information field. If you do a short coaching and you just see the results for a second, you don't really relate to it. So you see it, okay, short coaching is over, that's it. But if you send this information in the information field, it actually keeps on working. And that's what you see here very clearly, because when you don't do the harmonization, the effects are really minimal. But if you do the harmonization, the effects are really significant. course, we did also a coaching study for the Healy coaching module. So this was for the first version in the old Heal Advisor Analyze app. You also find this in the study overview, or no, not study overview, it's edition overview. There's a document that you can download, edition overview, and there are all the studies also inside. And we did also a resonance study with the resonance module, and we basically had similar effects. So very large effects when you did actually the analysis and the harmonization. And now, last but not least, we have the Global Earth Healing Project. And the Global Earth Healing Project is something that we launched on a Time with a World quite some years ago, so 2013, it's 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago. And there we said, okay, let's use our technology and combine it. So basically combine all the devices we have out there and make a common effort to improve something in the world. So for example, for the Ukraine war, or for wars, or big fires that we had in Australia and so on, there we said, okay, let's do an information field analysis, send this information field analysis results list to all our practitioners out there, all our users out there for TimeWeaver, and then at one day, all of them basically do the harmonization with their devices. And as we see here on the 1st of December, we did the harmonization, and there it went out of the confidential interval. So this is from the Global Earth Healing, Global Consciousness Project, where you have those 80 noise generators. And this was a very significant thing. And we also want to introduce that for Healy, but there we have to connect our systems, and that still takes some time. But yeah, with the new Analyze 2 app, we basically are now able to do that. And I'm really looking forward to that, because I think a few 100,000 Healy users also make a very big difference with this analysis and the harmonization afterwards. So here we have herzlichen Dank, which means thank you a lot. And I'm finished with this presentation. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Martin. I can see all the comments on here. Everybody's so in tune with everything you were sharing here with us. So thank you so much for this. I don't think there were any particular questions, but take advantage of the fact that Martin is here. So if you have any questions for him, you can write them on the chat and he will answer. But I'm going to jump into the next topics because I don't want to keep you guys over time. But thank you so much, Martin. And we look forward to having you again with us in January for the next topics. So thanks, everybody. And know that, again, this is being recorded and it will be shared on our Healy America's YouTube channel. So you can, go back, take notes if you have to, and also, of course, share with anybody else that maybe missed today. So that way they can have all this very simplified information that Martin shared with us today. So thanks again, Martin.
And of course, it's in the Academy. So if you go to Science, you have 7 videos that basically is a long version of what I did just now.
Exactly. And we just have a brand new also video that was posted last week on the Meridian. So make sure you are always tuning into your Academy so you can see all the new content that is constantly being shared with all of you. Okay, so Martin, you're welcome to stay if you want to answer any questions or share anything else. Of course, we love to have you. And talking about recordings, let me share my screen here again. We had Martin with us in our Super Saturday on November 8th, and we were able to segment. We were able to segment the entire day's worth of training in our YouTube channel. So make sure that you go on there And my screen is freezing, not sure why, but seems like you still can see me. So make sure you go into our Healy America's YouTube channel, and in there we have a playlist with all of the speakers that were in Super Saturday. So make sure you go on there and watch also Martin Whittman, who spoke about the Meridian module as well, more in depth. So quickly, I'm going to graze through these quickly. Today is our last day of our social media challenge where you could get the Prosperity Program. I am running it right now. It is an amazing, amazing expert program by Dr. Hadbank. And it is available for you guys as a gift, as a earning prize for all of you who participate on this challenge. And it was for you to be active on social media, sharing stories, sharing reels, posts with the hashtag MyHealyMoment, to get the business out there, to have a little fun. So you still have a chance. It closes today. So if you want to participate, make sure you go into our challenge information. Maybe you posted a few times and lost track of it. You can finish it today. And maybe if you are having a writer's block or maybe some lack of creativity, we have also a list of a bunch of ideas for you to post and earn the Prosperity Program. So it ends today, but you have until the 13th to fill out the form. And here it comes with all the instructions for you to submit that you participated. Again, many of you have asked for this. We have created a library of testimonials. So this month we have all of the some of the highlights of everybody who participated last month with the My Healy moment, and you also have it available in a playlist in the YouTube channel, so you can easily go there into our Healy World official YouTube channel. You can go into playlist, see full playlist, and there easily share those videos with any of the prospects that you may have this month of December. Also, we have a opt-in option for the newsletter. You received an email, so make sure you go on there and opt in so you can have access to this rebranded newsletter. And don't forget, December 14th, we'll be with Martina Kling on Healy Horizon. Now I'm going to jump right into the promotions. We got a few minutes left. Sorry if I'm going a little fast, but December, again, it's a month to remember. And like we said, closing epic, ending epic. So great news for USA. We have 0% Klarna, 0% APR available with Klarna. So make sure you take advantage of it because it started already this month and it will be available for you until the 18th. So no interest charges or additional fees for up to 18 months. This is huge. And also it's flexible payment plans for your budget, quick and easy application process, and of course, secure and reliable. So we only do this offer a few times a year, and now we have it to close the year. So take advantage of this again. It is available for you until the 18th of this month. 0% APR up to 18 months. So in order to take advantage of this great deal with Klarna, we have some great promos for you and your customers. So for the entire month of January, know that these promotions will be available until the end of the day, January 1st, but the month still closes on the 31st. Okay, so we have 35% discount on our Residence Plus, and Professional, but each one of those bundles come with different goodies. So the Residence comes with a free coil, the Residence Plus with a free coil and the Soul Cycle for free, and the Professional. I mean, this is the ultimate bundle. It comes with the coil, the Soul Cycle, Natural Cycle, Personal Growth Database, and the travel case for free. This is the ultimate holiday gift right here. So again, all the terms and conditions and all the flyers are available in your back office to download. And we have this Merry Meridian promotion. As you all know, we have a new Meridian module that is available, and we created a bundle with the Mag Healy Pro at 40% and the Meridian bundle bundled together. And this is only available until the 18th. So make sure, again, you take advantage of this. It's the testimonials with this module have been fantastic. Not only how amazing it is, but the fact that you're able to analyze through is just outstanding. So we continue in our Black Friday promotion. So in this one, 60%, both of the Healy Professional and the Mag Professional. So you have the best of both worlds. And this one also ends on the 18th of this month. And backed by popular demand, and even though 70% for Cyber Monday, we wanted you to also take advantage of upgrades if somebody wasn't able to do it in the month of November. Now we have it at 60% on all Healy upgrades. But of course, keep in mind, is excluding the Mag Healy. And we also wanted to extend the gift of Healy to our furry friends, and maybe not only furry, right, but our loyal partners, right? So we wanted to make it accessible through the Healy Gold and the Healy Holistic, where you can get a free coil and the animal bundle, which is the animal kit and 6 months free of the animal module. And this again is through the entire month. And again, like I mentioned, our Meridians module for the Mag Healy, we had a special lifetime purchase at discount in the month of November, and we wanted to also extend it in the month of December. So you can get it today at 33% discount. And for you, all of our members, we wanted to end this year in a golden note, con broche de oro. So we have this opportunity for you to earn a Healy Professional or Healy Resonance with the gold clip signed by our founder and creator, Marcus Schmieke. So you have the opportunity to earn this throughout the entire month. But during the 1st until the 18th, if you refer 3 new members or customers with a resonance or higher, resonance plus professional, and even the Mag Healy, then you qualify to earn a Healy Pro edition with the gold clip signed by Marcus Schmieke. But if, let's say, you only get to 2, it's great. Get it activated. We have till the 18th, everybody. You can also earn a device, in this case, a Resonance Plus with the gold clip signed by Marcus Schmieke. Now, these are limited cycles. So I encourage you to go for it and do it in those first 18 days, because you can get the Pro or the Resonance Plus. Now, at the end of the 18th, we go a new cycle. So if you earn it, you can start again after the 18, or let's say if you only did 1 at the beginning of the month, you can also have 3 throughout the entire month and get a Healy Resonance Plus with a gold clip signed by Marcus. So again, it's do 3 or 2 before the 18th of the month, or you have the entire month to do 3 and get a Resonance Plus. So I hope you really take advantage of this, because I know how proud all of you are that have the gold clip. And this is exclusive for the Americas. Now, this is our promotions at a glance. Oh, seems, am I stuck since Super Saturday? Let me share again. Strange. So here is at a glance for everybody. And we also have our pricing chart summarized for all of you. So here you have for the USA, where you have all of the offers that we have for this month. We have for Canada and for Mexico in Spanish. Again, keep in mind our promotions will be available until the first, those that run the entire month, but the month will close on the 31st at 6:59 p.m. EST. And now, just at a glance, our December calendar. If you haven't done so, you can find that every month updated at the HealyAmericasEvents.com. And this month, again, we have a very special What's Up Wednesday special edition 2023 year-end celebration. So come festive, come ready to celebrate, and come ready to win, because we're going to do special giveaways for everybody who participates, who dressed up, and also recap and highlights of 2023 and special recognition to all of our top performers and rack advancements of 2023. And we'll wrap up with a manifestation countdown. Now, we plan to do this for an hour and a half, so we can't wait to have you with us. On Monday, again, we have our next Momentum Monday with Shannon Rheault that will be speaking about setting goals, creating your path to success. And exciting news, we have our next Healy World Meets the World in January 9th. Tickets, early birds will be available soon. So make sure that you keep an eye to your newsletter, because we will send out all the instructions so you can reserve your ticket. We will have a first at a glimpse at upcoming products. We will have strategies to support your success, a whole new recognition plan and program, which we will be doing great recognition on that day. We are going to announce an exclusive retreat for our top performers at a dream destination, and we're going to have tons and tons of giveaways. So make sure that you register. Early bird is only 20 euros. Some of you have asked, why do we pay? Because again, we're going to have special offers for only those who attend, and as well giveaways for everybody who registers and attends. And this will be translated to languages all over the world, but of course for us here in Spanish, in French, and also we have to add on here Mandarin. So I apologize for the technical difficulty there. I didn't see that we were stuck. It seems to happen when we switch presenters, but the information is there, and I would everything is posted in your back office. But we will be here next week again on Wednesday, and we have a special event also next week on training on how to do a virtual session, and on the 20th we're going to wrap up the year strong together before we meet again on January 9th in 2024. So starting strong is good, but finishing strong is epic. Okay, so have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you here at the same time next week. And don't forget our recording also of Tech Tip yesterday, and we will see you. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.